So far in this course, we've worked extensively with JPEG images. We introduced RAW files earlier in this course. We know what they are, but we haven't discussed some of the important differences between working with JPEG and RAW files. To begin, it's important to note that working with RAW files or JPEG images in Lightroom is almost identical. The flow of the program remains the same, and everything we've done up to this point, including image adjustments, would all work the same way. That being said, RAW files do offer some additional benefits over JPEG files. The first major difference between a RAW file and JPEG is the additional options we have available for white balance adjustments. To explore this example further, let's go ahead and open a RAW file in our Develop module. Open this image here, myraw.nef. Now, in case you're wondering, NEF is the RAW file format generated by a Nikon D5100 camera. So with the image selected, expand the basic adjustments panel over here. You'll notice that the white balance menu, if you click on this menu here, it has a lot more options than we're used to. We've been working with JPEG images and the only options we had were auto, as shot, and custom. Well, now we have a full range of other white balance adjustments. We can now set the white balance the same way we could have when we were taking this photograph on our camera. The reason is because of the volume of data stored in a RAW file that is not available in a JPEG file. This preservation of data allows for certain settings to be adjusted even after the image has been taken. Let's go ahead and flip through some of these adjustments just so you can see the difference. So this is daylight, cloudy, tungsten, fluorescent, and this is flash. So these are all the different options you would have had on your camera, and you can adjust the white balance now after the photo has been taken, which is one of the great advantages of working with RAW files. Another advantage of shooting with RAW is that you can calibrate the colors that you see in Lightroom to match those you would see on your camera's LCD display. You may have noticed that when you take a photograph on your camera, the colors you see in your camera display look entirely different when you open the image in Lightroom. To calibrate Lightroom with your camera, we'll need to expand the camera calibration panel. Now before I do, I'm just going to take my white balance back to as shot. And here's the camera calibration panel, so just go ahead and expand that. Under the profile menu, you'll find a list of options that match the options available in your camera. So that means what you see in my menu will likely be different from yours. This is unless you use a Nikon D5100. One other point worth mentioning is if this was a JPEG image, we would only see the option embedded under the profile menu. So here's an example. This is a JPEG image. Now first, let's look at the white balance. We only have three options: as shot, auto, and custom. That was the first difference. Now under calibration, the only profile we have available is the one embedded already in this image. We can't change it as we can with a RAW file. Now if you aren't shooting using any special color profiles, you can just go ahead and select the camera standard profile. And this will match the color profile most cameras use by default. In addition to selecting an accurate camera profile, you can also do several basic color adjustments using these sliders below. The shadow slider can be used to correct green and magenta tints in the shadow areas of your image. So go left for more green, go right for more magenta. The remaining hue saturation sliders will target red, green, and blue, depending on which shades you choose to adjust. So you can see we can make dramatic color shifts in each one of these color channels. Keep in mind that these settings here are available for JPEG images as well as RAW files, but the profile, so say for example we wanted to change it from camera standard to camera landscape, you can see how the colors are displayed completely differently with each different profile. So just go ahead and select the profile that you have configured on your camera. And that's how you calibrate colors between your monitor and the LCD display on the back of your camera.